Hi everyone! So I figured we'd kind of talk about or just chat about juicers and blenders and kind of why we use them even though it's not natural to use them, because a lot of us, a lot of you, a lot of us, when we go start changing our health, and especially going raw, more plant-based and then specifically raw, we really start fine-tuning our lives, we really start simplifying our lives and going as natural as possible. You start developing that desire and it feels wonderful. It feels absolutely good, and that is one thing. It kind of goes into the debate of between people who still eat meat and people who still eat cooked foods. Even if they are plant-based, they're still eating cooked foods, cooked plant foods, versus the people who eat fully raw or just straight fruit or whatever. And I don't want to get into that debate there, guys. That can get wild, with some people. But that's one thing I just want to kind of talk about, because a lot of people say that, well, you know what, we weren't born with ovens on our backs or microwaves on our backs. So that shows you right there, we were not designed to eat cooked food. And I highly, completely agree with that, because when we are born, when God creates us and we come out, into the world, all we have is us. It's just our body, we don't have an oven, a microwave on our back. We're not born with that, to make sure we are able to eat properly when we are alive on this planet. God has created the food for us, and he created us a certain way, and God wants to do all the work, so God, which is awesome. That makes it simple for us, and so that's just when I think about it, and because God created our food for us and he made it super simple. And but that's another thing, is we were not born with blenders and juicers on our backs either. So why would we be using blenders and juicers on a raw foods diet? If we're eating the way we were designed to eat, why are we using blenders and juicers? And then there's some people who use dehydrators also. And so when you think about that, well, I start thinking about that and I go, well, these are tools that exist to help us with whatever's going on in our lives. But first of all, I think, number one, getting away from using an oven and a microwave and all the standard utensils that we all used to use, I think that's really good to get away from that. But again, it's on your own terms, though. It's on your own terms and how you view health and how you want to do things. And so, but when you think about it naturally, from a natural standpoint, again, God did not create us. We were not born with blenders, juicers, ovens, microwaves, dehydrators on our back to make sure we can eat properly when we are alive on this planet. He gave us nails, he gave us fingers, and he gave us all the senses: sight, touch, taste, smell, hearing. And so when we go to eat, the most natural thing, especially when you go back to the Garden of Eden days, all Adam and Eve had before sin entered, before they sinned, ate from the wrong tree, they were naked. They were naked in the Garden of Eden, but they weren't ashamed. They weren't ashamed. But they didn't have, from the standpoint that from reading the Bible and everything, they didn't have an oven or microwave or anything like that. And they were just picking from the trees, because God told us in Genesis chapter 1 verse 29 that he has given us every green plant and every fruit with seed in it, and he's given it to us for food. It will be ours for food, and he's made it pleasing to our eyes. So when we go to pick our food to eat, we are naturally gravitated to the colorful fruit in trees. And it just naturally happens that way. Even if you're really not into the big health movement or anything, when you see fruit on a tree, you think it's food. You just naturally say that's food, and you think your body just, it's a natural reaction. So that right there is a good cue to us that, okay, we were meant for fruit. We were meant for fruit. We were meant for plant foods. And another awesome thing about fruit is that it's easy for us to grab it. And a lot of you raw foodies already know all this, you know, that it's easy for us to grab it, and especially if we didn't have no utensils, even knives or forks or anything like that. We grab it, or usually the fruit just drops from the tree when it's ready to be eaten. All we do is come along, pick it up, and open it up and eat it. But we have our nails to easily open the fruit, and usually a lot of fruit is ripe when it actually starts splitting open by itself. So it's so simple for us to open it up and eat it. It's so simple, and it's just amazing when you think about it, when you really kind of brainstorm and really do some deep thought into it about how we were naturally meant to eat, and it makes complete sense, you know. But kind of going back to the issue of, or the topic of blenders and juicers, why we use those, or why a lot of people still use blenders, juicers, and dehydrators, that's a whole nother topic. I don't agree with dehydrators, but that's a whole nother topic though. But I as far as blenders and juicers go, that's one thing I think is okay for us to use even on a raw foods diet and eating the most natural that you want to eat and everything, and still using knives and forks and bowls and stuff like that, because that kind of comes from the habits that we've been brought up growing up, you know. When we've been eating cooked foods, and we've been brought up to use plates and forks and knives and stuff like that, so that habit still lingers even when we start making healthful changes, you know. But it all depends on how far you want to take your natural lifestyle, you know. But I think using blenders and juicers even on a natural raw foods diet, I believe that's good and okay to use, because I know for me, I have a juicer. I have a Green Star juicer. I have a Vitamix blender. I have a food processor to make salsas and different whipped nice creams and stuff like that. And because I still enjoy making stuff like that, making really good raw dishes and meals and everything. But I think that these are good tools to use for us in this day and age, because a lot of the plant foods are void of the nutrition that it's truly meant to have. Like a lot of our fruits and vegetables, the plant foods are not rich in the nutrition like it once used to be, like it's meant to be. Because I believe back in the Garden of Eden days that our fruit and the plant foods, like just a few pieces of fruit would satisfy our body's needs completely, and we wouldn't have to eat so much, and we wouldn't have to eat such variety too. But I mean, we would be satiated on just a couple pieces of fruit. Well, we would have variety, of course, but I mean, we wouldn't have to eat so much volume, you know. So in this day and age, with our soils being depleted, like all you raw foodies know about, that with the soils being depleted of the nutrition and everything, it affects the plants, it affects the food growing on the tree, and then it affects us because it doesn't provide us all the nutrition that our bodies need. And so the cycle is broken there. The cycle's broken, or it's depleted a little bit, you know. And so using and utilizing blenders and juicers helps increase that nutritional content of your meal. So even though eating the fruit just the way it is, straight from the tree, and in mono meals is, I think, the most superb, perfect way we were designed to eat. Just one type of fruit at a time in a meal, and it'd be a mono meal, and it'd be straight in its whole form, you know. And but again, with the nutritional content being very low in our produce into this day and age and everything, the juicers and blenders really up the nutritional content of a meal. And so, yeah, we have to go to combining different fruits and vegetables, you know, into a meal and everything, but we're upping the nutritional content to help our bodies, to help give our bodies what it needs. And especially like the juicer is a fabulous way to go, because I know it's taking out the fiber, but the nutrition is just jam-packed in there. So you can have a smaller amount, but get all the nutrition that you need in a meal, instead of eating such a huge, large quantity. That literally looks nearly impossible, and like just not, like, that's not realistic to eat that much. You wouldn't eat that much. That juicing and blending really helps making things smaller, easily digestible, but the nutritional content is right up there where it's supposed to be. And so that's the issues I believe we face in this day and age, with the problem of sin in this world, and just the state of our agricultural farming and stuff like that, and just the overall health of in the state of this planet and everything, that when it comes to our health, the human health, those blenders and juicers really come in handy. They really come in handy. And that's why I think it's okay, even though it's not natural to use juicers and blenders, that it's okay to use them, because it really helps assist, and in this day and age that we live in getting the amount of nutrition that we truly need, that our bodies truly need. So just my thoughts on that there, guys. Good to ponder about, you know. So I will let you guys go. Remember to love being raw, you guys. Excuse me. Put a big old smile on your face today. I hope I did that for you, and I'll see you guys next video, okay? Bye, guys.